Yesterday, I made a video about the potential community reaction in the event of a delay to Battlefield 2042. Now, I know there has been a lot of worry in the community because we have heard very, very little from DICE as of recent with regards to the state of the game. When the beta is kind of been a really big one as of recent, with rumors flying around left and right. And through all that, DICE has replied with a meme essentially saying that things are all on track. And even Andy McNamara, the communications director at DICE, did say that they were on track for a regular release. Typically though, you want to be able to take credit from the studio themselves. I'm not saying that they're liars or anything, but it's not like these kinds of things happen and then a game is still delayed. It just is the nature of the industry sometimes. So that's essentially the type of video I was making. I didn't want to fearmonger anyone, and while I did receive a lot of positive feedback, I did also receive some negative feedback about people who were just very angry about the game and were saying that the game's going to be terrible on launch, it's going to be buggy, and that they're canceling pre-orders and whatnot. And I just kind of wanted to clear that up with today's video. Now, remember, as always, before we start a video, to leave it a nice, thick, and juicy like. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, you want more like it, be sure to hit that big red sexy subscribe button right underneath the video. Also gotta say, I've been streaming a ton lately. It's been incredible hanging out with you guys on stream. If you want to swing by and say hi, be sure to hit that notification bell. Last but not least, gotta thank my channel members. You guys help make these videos possible. If you want to join, get access to the exclusive perks that they get, be sure to check out that blue join button. Anyway, let's begin. So is this a bad sign? Is the quietness around 2042 something to be worried about, or is it simply just marketing? Now, for me personally, I've held for quite a while now that this is simply marketing. If you haven't seen my videos before or just don't remember, I've held for quite a while that this is just a clever marketing technique to keep people talking. Whether it's positive talk or whether it's negative talk, talk is still talk and the subject is still relevant. If you don't believe me, there were 75,000 tweets yesterday about the word beta in regards to Battlefield 2042's beta. Now, I know that the silence around the game can be worrying. I think it does remind a lot of people about Battlefield 5's issues with communications, and essentially it wasn't aided by any kind of great updates or content drops, because aside from the Pacific, every single update seemed to break the game more than the previous one, which was an issue. And it's understandable that people would be worried about that type of a thing, but this is a completely different game, and a lot of the developers have shifted out. It's pretty much a completely different team that's in there now, and they've also taken quite a bit of extra time to put that extra care into these games. Like I said in my video yesterday, they have cut the lifecycle of BF5 and their other game, Star Wars Battlefront 2, early so they could work on this game. So a lot of resources are being poured into this. That being said, we haven't seen anything concrete to indicate worry. There haven't been any trailers where we're like, wait a second, what's going on here? Why is the trailer being recorded in 30 FPS and then uploaded in 60 FPS? Are they trying to fool us? Just little things like that. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, speaking of 30 frames per second, the alpha test was, that was terrible. The textures were bad. The destruction wasn't all there. All that stuff like that. Well, the thing with that test is, number one, it was a closed stress test. It was designed to stress the servers. It wasn't a play test necessarily like an alpha would be to receive feedback on balancing and gameplay. They explicitly stated several times that this was the case. They're not really taking any of the gameplay into consideration necessarily. It's all about just stressing the servers. That's why it was closed and not open to the public. And in fact, if you do want to hold on to the quality of the actual closed test itself, it was originally supposed to be a white box test, which meant that there should have been no textures on anything on the map at all. It should have just been light gray everywhere, and instead they were able to manage to put textures over everything. Granted, they weren't the most high-res textures and it did not look perfect, but again, the state of the game in that test is intentionally not very good. This is, after all, a branch build that is months old. Even though it was compiled on July the 29th, it is intentionally this way for this stress test. So I know not everyone is informed on that, and I know a lot of people on this platform and other social media platforms have been running their mouths about this sort of a thing, saying, oh, this is the alpha test, or yada, yada, yada. It wasn't. If it was, they probably would have opened it up and shown it off like they did with Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. But they didn't, because that's not the kind of test this was. Again, this wasn't about gameplay. So even in my video where I discussed the leaks, the leaked footage and whatnot, I said there isn't much to take away because the game isn't all there. You can't really take away what the destruction is like because all the destruction isn't there. You can't take away what the map is going to play like necessarily because it isn't all there. The customization isn't all there. Even the user interface is not all there, which they've also explicitly talked about how that is going to change as well. So again, there's nothing concrete to specifically worry about with this game. And another thing is some people might argue, well, you know what, if there's nothing there, the lack of anything to not worry about means that there is something to worry about because they're not showing us anything. And I get that, but at the same time, you gotta think you're literally worrying about an actual nothingness right now. Yes, they haven't shown us anything. And you know what, it could be because the gameplay is bad. It could be because maybe it's not ready. It could be. It also could be just a clever marketing tactic. We don't know. So worrying about it, I don't think is worth the time necessarily. I don't think that it's something that should be keeping you up at night. Again, this is kind of a clarification video for yesterday's video, but I just wanted to reiterate a lot of my points and let you guys know that they're just, even though there is the possibility of a delay, there's a possibility that this game is in a terrible state. There's also the same possibility that you could be struck by lightning or that you could win the lottery. That doesn't mean that that's the case. So let's relax a little bit. Take a chill pill. Let's enjoy what we have right now with some of the older titles, or even if you're still playing Warzone or something like that, enjoy that. And we're gonna get the beta this month. They've said it, they haven't backed down from it. Sure, the meme is kind of annoying, and I don't think that it's my favorite marketing tactic, but it's one that is working as I'd imagine they're intending to by us talking about these exact things. So they'll show us stuff when it's ready, and worrying about it won't matter because once we get our hands on the beta, we can try it out. And if you hate it, you can put it down. If you love it, well, what were you worrying about this whole time? Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. I'd love to have a conversation with you, and I will see you guys in the next video.